Well, hey guys, guess what? I'm back. I'm here. It's Cody from CJ2 Station 8. I know it's been a while, guys, but I'm back and I brought a special guest with me. Dave, you guys remember Dave from DJ14? He is back with us. And honestly, for both of us, we've been wanting to make videos for so long, but we're both busy guys.
We are, yeah.
You just got a part-time job with a full-time job.
Yep. So juggling,
And I'm trying to, and I've been working nonstop, so it's been crazy.
It has been.
So today we're just gonna do a little quick video. But I do want to make some announcements that we are working on stuff, projects right now, like coming up with ideas for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, eventually, we'll be able to get them out to you. Now, if the lighting keeps going in and out, it's because the camera angles, so no worries.
Maybe it's just because I'm leaning. Or maybe that's just my perspective. I have no idea.
I think it is, but
look at this makeshift angle, by the way.
I see that
60% of the screen is this with this tape hanging out in the window and everything else.
I know.
But yeah, no, it's fun. Oh, wow, how did this get here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, actually, I'm glad that you showed that because that's our topic for today. We're gonna be talking Broncos and Jets. This Thursday night. Obviously some quick news though. Obviously Patrick Mahomes is now gonna be a daddy as well as
he's pregnant. Pregnant.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but yeah, congratulations to him and to his future wife Brittany. That's
if you're watching this,
that's very exciting.
Yeah. Which I imagine they would be.
Obviously. Yeah, it's a great time for them. And obviously, keep the Tennessee Titans and their family in your prayers and thoughts because 8 of 3 football players and 5 personnel all got positive thing for COVID after their game with Minnesota, which Minnesota should have won, but well, let's not focus on the past. We'll beat Houston this week.
Excuse me, sir. We are talking about teams that are terrible.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Not these middle tier,
We're talking about the worst right now.
Yeah.
So Denver versus New York. I'm surprised we don't have our friend from Taco Tuesday's podcast on here because he is a.
I had to think for a second. I was like,
Yeah, because if you guys get a chance to check out Taco Tuesday podcast,
the old stuff if it's still around.
Yeah,
there's a couple on YouTube still.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that was an old podcast that we did
about
football. Where we basically, I used to have a little studio in my old apartment, or studio size office room, where we would record a weekly podcast or semi-weekly as much as we could. So.
He, ironically enough, is a Denver Bronco fan, and you're ironically enough a Jets fan.
A Jets fan. Yep.
So let's actually talk about this matchup coming up tomorrow. So both teams are, I believe, they're 0-3, right? Both of them.
Yeah, it's my understanding.
Which is shocking for me as far as Denver's concerned. I really thought they were going to do well this year.
Yeah.
Then again, I thought my team, the Minnesota Vikings, was going to do well. And
yeah,
we're tanking for Trevor, folks. We're tanking for Trevor. It's a race now.
I don't think you will get the
pick. We'll probably get Trey Lance.
You will get
We'll get Trey Lance.
You might get a 6-10 season.
Yeah.
I just don't. There's too much talent on that team to just say
we're probably going to get probably a Fang quarterback. We're probably going to get Trey Lance if we can get Rick or Cousins. But yeah, for the Jets and Broncos right now, 0-3, not looking good for either one of the teams. Drew Lock, who he's been okay. I was kind of expecting big things from him this year. I think a big reason why he's not doing as well is just the defense isn't the same, honestly. And when you're the offense, you have to step up. It makes it that much more difficult. Minnesota has the complete opposite. Well, they did until their corners pretty much all are younger rookies.
Well, the Denver Broncos have a good roster when they're healthy. That's what people have to understand. Even with their defense and everything else, their roster is good when they're healthy. The Jets roster is maybe even average when they're all healthy. But this is like the Broken Bowl. This is like the, what you're looking at, like I was going to call it the Butt Cheek Bowl because they were really bad. But like, no, this is like the Broken Bone.
Not even the Tank Bowl. Not even the Tank Bowl. Just the Broken Bone.
The Broken Bone Bowl, man. Or just the Broken Bowl. Yeah. And, it's like you pour your cereal in, it's just, it's a mess. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, yikes. If this bowl was actually kind of like, not broken, you'd be able to have a good meal. It's just perfect analogy. Nailed it. But again, you're looking at it like, okay, so the Jets, this is the story, right? Which coach is going to get fired first? That's what I've heard. You're going to see, almost certainly, Adam Gase is going to be fired if they lose this game.
Oh, I think it writing is on the wall. Like, there's even rumors right now that Adam Gase, if he does not win, will be fired Friday. And I think the big thing is, and I know, and let's just talk about the Jets for a second. The thing is with the Jets,
yes,
everyone's going to pick on Sam Darnold. I don't think he's that bad.
No, I think he's not the problem.
Here's the thing. You and I have talked about it. If he and Josh Allen were to reverse roles, he would do just as well.
Well, if you look at Josh Allen, you see a perfect example of what it looks like when you have good coaching, you build through an actual system. Like they kept saying, trust the process. Well, that's what you want to see, right?
Yeah.
You get your first round quarterback.
And the Bills are undefeated as a result.
Right. Granted, it's the beginning of the year, but this is the first time I looked at the Bills and said, oh, you're not just a September team or an overhyped wild card, one and done team. You look like, because Josh Allen looks like a legitimate quarterback. They actually surrounded him with an offense as opposed to Tyrod Taylor, where they just took away the offense. And, then Bills fans were like, why isn't he good? Josh Allen is solid right now because the coaches have brought him along and you've had you've built an offense around him and you've actually, so good coaching, you build the offense around him, year 3, taking that step. Now you look at the Jets.
Right.
None of those things, right?
And another thing is, too, when Robbie Anderson, who was your main target for several years, now he's all the way down in Carolina. Right. Mm-hmm. And Le'Veon Bell really hasn't lived up to the contract because of injuries, because of bad
I'll tell you why, too. Because of Adam Gase.
Right.
Right? Because, so the biggest root of our issues, and I think what could happen with the Jets, I'll try to make this as quick as possible because this could go on and on. Trust me. The biggest thing with the Jets right now that I think could happen. Now, I'm not just going to say what you're expecting from Jet fans. Hopefully, I'm going to bring something nuanced. So you look at it and you see, if you get rid of Adam Gase, the Jets might be able to have a season like the Browns did when they got rid of Hugh Jackson. Because Greg Williams was the defensive coordinator that year. Yeah. So he could take over. Have an offensive coordinator that's just average. My goodness, give Sam something. And see what you got in the kid. If you're still terrible, then I get it. Like, if you're in the top 3, you're probably going to get a quarterback because that means that Sam didn't do enough. If you have the first pick, people are saying, well, you've got to get Trevor Lawrence. And I'm like, I'm not there yet. I think for me, I'm like, look, see what you have in Sam. Because, again, you look at the 49ers game. Mm-hmm. He had nothing, and he's moving the ball. Granted, they were injured, but remember, when the Jets are injured, nobody gives them an excuse.
Right.
So, Sam did well.
They did better than the Giants did against the 49ers.
Which is ironic, because I was told by Giant fans that they were the better team, even though they haven't beaten us since 2011. So, I don't know, whatever. But who's keeping score? I don't. But again, I think... No, the Giants I expected to be better. Yeah. No bias whatsoever. I was like, they were supposed to be better. Daniel Jones was the guy, even though he wasn't the guy. Now he's the guy. Now he might not be the guy. In New York football. So, long story short, you get rid of Adam Gase, you give Sam an okay offensive coordinator. All of a sudden, I think the injuries are going to stop. Yeah. I think a lot of people don't want to play for him. I mean, again, with Denver, there's actually a possible future there. They need to get the coach right. Yeah. We need to see what we have with this guy, but they need to get the coach right themselves. I don't think they're going to fire this coach if they lose to the Jets. If the Jets win, it means Sam hopefully played well. And I don't like the public perception on Sam Darnold. It's kind of very like, sheeple kind of, just, oh, look at what this person said. Oh, look at this, out of context thing. He makes throws that if Pat Mahomes made them, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know people have said that before, but it's so true. So I think Sam needs to show what he's got, and you're in a pretty favorable position because if Sam does well, then you surround him with talent. Joe Douglas. Mm-hmm. If he does not, Joe Douglas gets his guy, still has a first-round pick. You go from there.
Yeah, and another thing is too, like, reflecting on Denver, a big problem I see with Denver really the coaching has been an issue, but if you look at their quarterbacks since Peyton Manning, they've gone through like 8 QBs.
It's been a lot. Yeah, it's been.
And Drew Lock, I think, is their guy. Like, this guy that's coming in, I don't know if it's Jeff Drizzle or I think it's Brett Ripon, Mark Ripon's nephew. But I think the big thing with Denver is they need to have about consistency on their end.
Yeah.
It doesn't help when John Elway makes it the John Elway show. I know he was a great quarterback for Denver back in the day, but as a GM, he really hasn't been the best. Sure, he made a gamble and got Peyton Manning and won a Super Bowl. But at the same time, that team was good enough that I think had they worked and developed Tim Tebow, and I know a lot of people laugh at me for saying this, but I think they would have made the Super Bowl regardless. Because they just had that talent of team.
They would have won. It would have been hard to say because Tim Tebow had Demaryius Thomas, right? And he had Eric Decker. You saw the wild card run,
right?
Pretty good.
The game against the Patriots,
Peyton, though, you don't pass up on Peyton Manning.
That is true.
You know what I mean? Like that, I understand.
He would have gone to Arizona too had he not gone to Denver.
And you think about Elway too. I got to push back on this a little bit. The only reason I say that is because 2011 he took the Tim Tebow team to wild card and they beat the Steelers, good Steelers team.
Yeah.
They got their butt kicked by New England. I remember that. It was a bummer. Watch that in actually Matt's basement. Sounds creepy, but he had a fantastic setup with a projector and surround sound. Fantastic.
He had his own man cave then?
Oh, dude. That was the best man cave I think I've ever seen.
Wow.
I could be exaggerating, but it was, for us at the time, it was fantastic. Yeah. But anywho, so 2011 did well, right? Got Peyton Manning. Then you had, 2012, it was fine. It was good. They lost that game against the Ravens. Okay, they're in the playoffs, right? Again, you're speaking as a Jets fan from absolutely nowhere.
Yeah.
They're in the playoffs. They lose that game. First round. Granted, amazing game, right? Then the next year you have that offense. They go to the Super Bowl. Lose that game. The next year they lose against the Colts. Yeah. And then the year after that you have that amazing defense. Mind you, a lot of those pickups were through, John Elway's moves and everything else. Right. And so you're looking at like half of it up to this point was really good. 2 Super Bowl appearances. The other half has been hard because drafting quarterbacks is difficult. Drew Lock might be something. And I think that bumps him because he went from here to kind of like, down a little below average, I'd say, to kind of like Drew Lock average with Jared Jeudy. I'm like, look, if it wasn't for the injuries, this team would not be 0-3.
Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? At least 2-1.
And that's not John Elway's fault.
He has made some bad decisions since the Super Bowl run, though.
Absolutely. That's the thing. But there's so much time between when he started and the Super Bowl run that it's like, a tale of two halves. It's like Eli Manning's career.
Yeah. Like the first
really
good.
And then they just, and it's like, I don't want to say it was that terrible. I think I would take John Elway over Mike McCagnon, who we had. I think he's been average, maybe above average. Above average. He's gotten to 2 Super Bowls. That's great.
Yeah. But ultimately, between these two teams, the big thing right now is the model of which team is going to be more disciplined. Because that's going to be the team who's really going to win. Because,
Denver.
Let's be honest, both teams really haven't been as disciplined, but
right.
Adam Gase just really, to me, when I saw the Bills and Jets game with you and with several other people, one thing I noticed, the Jets did not look disciplined.
No.
At all. They looked like they were completely out of it.
Yeah.
Most of the time that they were in the game, like they didn't even seem like they were there. I really think that Adam Gase time as a Jets coach is over. I'm picking.
This is it, and it's prime time too, which makes it interesting.
I gotta pick Denver here because the Jets. Sam Darnold's he's got the big thing that's gonna help the Jets win is let Sam Darnold be Sam Darnold.
Play. Just let him play. He can be a good quarterback. His ceiling is very high.
Yep.
And again, Trevor Lawrence does intrigue me because his ceiling is higher than Sam's.
And plus, that majestic hair of his. I mean,
well, he looks like somebody I used to. He looks like somebody I used to work with at Delta.
He's just
so it's like it's going to be like watching that guy every week. Not that that's bad, but it's just kind of weird. It's like he looks exactly like him. So it's like, save me, John. That's the name of the guy. But it's like that's not the real name of Trevor Lawrence. But he looks like a guy named John, and I'm like, it just is weird. It's not bad. It's just bizarre.
The big thing is when Sam Darnold had that hot streak last year, it was a lot of like play action. It wasn't doing what Adam Gase was doing. It was letting Sam Darnold kind of
be himself.
And
I'm so scared. Right. I'm so scared of him just going to some other team and them being like, oh, okay, what do you do? Well, okay, let's do that. And then he becomes a star. And that's why I'm like, this is why the Jets have a prime opportunity. Fire Adam Gase, first of all. Been saying that for weeks. Not to say that I want somebody to be unemployed. That's not cool. But I'm saying as far as what he's doing and everything else, I'm sure he'll manage. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get a job somewhere. I don't know. But he should be financially okay. I hope so. I don't want to advocate for somebody to lose their job and struggle financially.
I mean, college is a good place for him to go.
He'd be fine. He'd learn a lot. And he needs to learn a lot. He needs to humble himself because I think the issue has been he wants to form everybody into his system. And his system isn't even that good.
And another thing to keep in mind, too, is people don't realize, I think he's barely 40. He's a young coach, so he's very immature, very unseasoned. So I think with some seasoning and some develop, he could be a really good coach, but I just don't see it right now.
Yeah.
With Denver, I think if Denver sniffs a victory, that could help them.
Mm-hmm.
They might end up being probably 5-11 this year or 6-10, but I think with the right format, they could do it. Now, the big thing that goes in the Jets' favor right now is that they at least have the consistency in quarterback. That's the only thing.
Sam is a better quarterback, obviously. I hate how everybody's saying, like, oh, he's terrible. And I'm like, look, he has been playing with one hand behind his back since Gase became coach. You look at the end of his year of 2018, he was a really solid guy. And here's my thing. I think the Jets might win it. I don't know why. I think they're just going to play well because Denver is not that good.
Right.
We faced two really good teams, and then there's Denver, who's so injured that they're not as good. So it's going to be more entertaining than I think people realize.
Yeah.
And the Jets might have a shot because their starting quarterback is in, even though Sam is playing with one hand behind his back. I'm actually hoping that Sam plays well and that Denver wins just this week because it will help the long-term future of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
So.
And let me just put this way. I think I know when I posted the thing about who Denver's starting quarterback is for this week, I definitely have heard some comments about Colin Kaepernick being signed, that they should go sign him. And I think Denver tried to get Colin Kaepernick.
Who's that?
There was some people on that respond to my post. You don't know them.
My political friends like him. Did he play football?
Colin Kaepernick was the 49ers quarterback. Remember?
No. Did he do anything?
He was the one that did the...
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I was about to say. No. I'm like, wait, what?
My friends who don't like football, except when it becomes political, are very quick to talk about him.
All right.
So that's the only way I know about it, honestly.
Actually,
No, I watched him play.
His stats were okay. He was okay as a quarterback. The problem is he threw more interceptions than touchdowns. Then again, Sam Darnold also has. Joe Namath has. Brett Favre has. So, I mean, it's not like
he was fine under the right coaching. I just think his... I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I just... So who are you taking? Denver?
Yeah, it's Denver. But the truth of the matter is, regardless, it doesn't... I wasn't bringing it up to be controversial. I was just going to say from a football fan's perspective, non-political.
Oh, sure. Yeah, people were writing articles, what's happening to Colin Kaepernick? At Bleacher Report, of all places. And they were saying, sorry, my alarm's going off, I gotta go soon. Yeah. He was kind of struggling and going downhill.
Yeah.
So it was like, and he didn't have the same coaching staff that worked with his skill set. His ceiling was fine. He wasn't, lighting the world up. He was
really
good
in the best out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I just think that people kind of took a bit of a turn when it came to the political element. And that to me was a little annoying because just like when people are like, I like Tim Tebow. Why? Because he's a Christian. And it's like, look, I like the guy. I liked him more than most people. And I love that he was a believer. I thought that was phenomenal.
He was not a great quarterback, though.
Well, not under the systems he was put in.
No.
I mean, could he have been? Absolutely. Could Colin have been? Absolutely. I just think that sometimes when we attach another thing to it, we tend to get more... it becomes more of an ethical, emotional response than a real... you can't get analytical about football anymore.
And I think with the system that Denver has, I don't feel that Colin Kaepernick would do well. Not because of anything bad.
According to Madden, he's really good.
But, yeah,
really good.
I think the big thing is... there are certain systems that you get set up in, and the problem with Denver is they do more than just pass, though. They're not a pass-heavy team.
Oh, they will be, though.
They will
someday. Yep.
But a lot of their focus right now is their running back, because they got Todd Gurley, I think. Mm-hmm. They also have Philip Lindsay, who definitely is an already star.
They're a good team. They'll be fine. Their future is brighter than the Jets. But that can turn around very quickly.
Oh, wait.
I think our GM is good. I think Sam can be good.
Ultimately,
I think a lot
2020
is... What you're going to see, I'm telling you, fire Adam Gase. Then you're, just putting that. Then, after that, you see Jim Bob Cooter. Yeah. Sorry, I made a song about it. Jim Bob Cooter steps in. He takes over the offense, makes it normal. Work with Sam. Greg Williams is head coach.
Okay.
We're going to win some games,
I think Cleveland should have made Greg Williams a head coach, to be honest.
Yeah, they would have been. Well, now they're doing better, right? But anywho, want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, so that's really it, guys. We're just mostly talking about Jets and Broncos here, but we are going to come up with more videos in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm Cody, and I will see you guys next time.